Hello everyone, my name's Matthew and today we're going to go through the warm-up. The warm-up is a crucial part of your training session where you prepare for the main stimulus of training, improve your performance, reduce your chance of injury risk, and improve the technique in which you perform exercises. Today we will go through a range of general range of motion exercises all the way to pre-activation of the glutes, to some thoracic mobility and shoulder mobility, and to also your ankle range of motion. Performing these exercises are crucial to performing at your absolute best in your training sessions. I highly recommend you watching these videos over again until you're able to perform these exercises correctly. So let's get on with it. Let's start with general range of motion. The first exercise is a wrist flexion and extension exercise. This is just basically flexing your wrist and extending it. We want to rest your forearm on top of your other forearm and focus on fully extending and flexing your wrist. This is going to help you improve the range of motion of your wrist, reduce wrist pain, and improve the quality of your lifts. Wrist rotations involves just simply rotating your wrist clockwise and anti-clockwise as wide as you can go. You can see here how I'm really emphasizing the path which I'm taking with my wrist. And this is also going to improve range of motion at the wrist and decrease wrist pain. In this exercise, we simply want to rotate the shoulder as far forward as we can and as far back as we can. We want it to be a nice and slow and controlled movement. Do not aggressively swing your arms because this can damage the shoulder and put it at risk of injury. In this exercise, similar to the wrist, we want to fully flex and extend our ankle. We know ankle mobility is key in lower body movement, so this will help loosen up any tightness around the ankle, and we'll see more exercises following this one. In this exercise, we are taking the ankle through its further range of motion, which includes inversion when we move our ankle towards the midline of our body, and eversion when we move it towards the outline of our body. This is just a simple exercise to further increase the range of motion of the ankle. In this exercise, we are further taking the ankle through its range of motion by rotating it clockwise and anti-clockwise, just like our wrists. In this ankle heel walk exercise, we are literally just walking on our heels, trying to point our big toe to the sky. This is going to help us increase our range of motion during the squat when we're lowering down to the bottom. In the ankle toe walk exercise, we are literally walking on our toes, specifically our big toe, in order to activate our calf muscles. This is just going to help warm up our calf muscles. In this exercise, we are basically just performing calf raises, consolidating our prior calf exercises. In this exercise, we are raising our hip up and then moving it away from our body. This exercise is great for people who have tight hips and struggle with getting deep in the squat. In this exercise, we are raising our knees as high as we can to the sky, attempting to loosen up our hips before we perform any lower body exercise. Let's move on to pre-activation of the glutes. With a band attached around your knees, you're going to go down into a partial squat and literally walk like a duck, left and right step. Ensure that your hips are at the right height, not too high and not too low. We're going to go forwards and then we're going to go backwards. Nice, careful and controlled steps, but your glutes should be firing during this time. In this exercise, the band will be placed around your ankles and you will be sidestepping, attempting to resist the band as you step. This targets upper side part of your glute, and this will help with stability during squatting and deadlifting movements. We're going to go right and then we're going to go left. Nice, slow and steady steps. In this exercise, we're attaching the band around our knees again. We're laying in a supine position on the floor with one foot on the ground, and we are going to push our hips to the sky, squeezing our glute as hard as we can at the top of the movement. This is going to help us engage the muscles on our glutes, and this is going to help reduce hip tightness and improve our technique in lower body movements. With this exercise, we are going to lay on our side with the band around our knees again, and we are going to try and raise our knees to the sky, attempting to squeeze the side of our glute as hard as we can. We want, again, nice, slow and controlled movements, and we want to ensure that we stay as tight as possible. In this exercise, similar to the previous one, we are going to try and raise our knee as high as we can to the sky. In this scenario, we're making the exercise harder. So, same concept, slow, steady and controlled movements. Try and squeeze the side of that glute as hard as you can. In this movement, we are performing hip extension, where we are attempting to raise our heels as high as we can to the sky by initiating the movement through squeezing our glutes. When we go down, slow and controlled, and then try and contract as powerfully as possible with your glutes. Let's move on to wrist range of motion. In this exercise, we are attempting to move our forearm as far away as possible from our wrist. This is an exercise which will help with, again, improving range of motion and stability in lifts, but also decrease wrist pain. This exercise is similar to the previous one, where we're attempting to move our forearm as far away as possible from our wrist. This will also further decrease wrist pain and improve range of motion. This exercise, similar to the previous two, will involve moving the forearm as far away as possible from the wrist. It will also decrease wrist pain and improve wrist range of motion. Let's move on to back range of motion. In this exercise, with a band from our hands to our lower back, we are going to attempt to breathe in as forcefully as possible through our mouth and then breathing out as we push down our torso. This will help activate some of our lower back muscles and prepare us for lifts which require a heavy load on our lower back. Ensure that you can control your breathing correctly and you put intent into the movement so we contract the right muscles. In this exercise, we are hanging from a bar and we are just performing the first movement of a pull-up. We want to just pull up slightly and hold and slowly control down. This movement is called a scapular retraction. This movement will help towards building your pull-ups as well. Let's move on to shoulder range of motion. In this movement, we're grabbing a band and we're performing 4 different movements. We're performing a banded upright row, into an external rotation, a press, and then a rotation. Ensure you keep constant tension on the band throughout the whole range of motion. In this next movement, we can either use a band or a cable here. We set it up about eye level and we want to perform an external rotation where we pull our forearm or our wrist towards our back. We want to try and keep our upper arm as still as possible when performing this movement. You can see the required muscle being activated during this movement as well. Similar to the previous exercise, we are performing now an internal rotation where we're actually facing the opposite way of the band. Again, at eye level, we want to try and move our forearm towards our eyes, not our back this time. This is going to help engage muscles such as the lats and the internal rotators of the shoulder. In this movement, we are laying on the floor with a band tied just above our body position, and we are going to again perform an external rotation, attempting to move our wrist as far away as possible from our body. We want to keep our body on the ground and our humerus as still as possible, our upper arm. In this movement, using a cable or a band, we are going to attempt to pull the band of the cable as closest to our face as possible. This is going to help engage muscles behind the shoulder, such as the rear delts and upper back muscles. This will help prepare us for upper body movements such as pull-ups, dips, bench press, and rowing movements. In this exercise, with a band or cable tied just above eye level, we are going to row towards our upper chest, attempting to engage our upper back muscles. This exercise is great to again engage the rear delts and upper back and prepare for upper body movements in your workout. Let's move on to thoracic mobility. In this movement, we are walking with a kettlebell in our hand, trying to keep that 90-degree angle between our forearm and our arm. This movement, it will help with keeping more upright during movements such as pull-ups, dips, deadlifts, and squats. This is a highly underrated movement and I highly recommend that you perform this. This will also help to improve posture as well. In this exercise, we are going to be on our knees and our forearms, where we are going to attempt to move our upper back as far away from our left side or right side as possible. When we're performing this movement, we want to ensure that we're moving our back first before we lift our arm up to the sky. This will also help with improving upright posture during essential weightlifting movements. In this exercise, we are going to the bottom of a squat movement with one hand on the ground and attempting to move our upper back as far away from the left or right side as possible by reaching our arm to the sky. Again, focus on moving that upper back first before you reach to the sky. This will also improve upright posture during weightlifting movements such as squatting, deadlifting, and pull-ups. In this exercise, we want to put our backs and our upper bodies to the wall where we will be performing a shoulder press, but specifically focusing on keeping your lower back as far close as possible to the wall. We can do this by breathing in forcefully, increasing our intra-abdominal pressure so that we can stay more upright and improve squat form, pull-up form, and many more exercises. Let's move on to core warm-up. In this exercise, we are going to get in a push-up position where we are going to perform a plank along with shoulder taps. This is going to help us improve some stability and engage our core before we complete movements which require a lot of stability. Focus on holding that shoulder tap for at least 1 second and keeping your glutes engaged to create that nice linear shelf on your back. In this movement, we are going to be raising our arm forward and kicking our leg back. We want to focus on controlling our breathing in on the way out and breathing in as we bring back in our arm and our leg. This is going to help also improve stability in movements and reduce lower back pain. Ensure that you switch and do both sides as well. Keep your head down and your spine neutral, and as I said before, focus on that breathing. In this movement, we are going to be in a push-up position and then we are going to lower down onto our forearms, pushing up with the respective arm. As we push up, we want to ensure and limit hip movement and engage your core when we are alternating arms. This is going to help engage your core when you are unstable and improve stability during lifts that may be unstable, such as squats and deadlifts. Let's move on to ankle range of motion. In this exercise, we are going to get a kettlebell, a heavy kettlebell, and then we're going to place it on top of our knees, and then we're going to push our knees over our toes and hold this position. You should feel some tightness just in front of your ankle, and this means that we're engaging the right muscles and loosening up the ankle so we can improve your ankle range of motion and get you deeper in that squat. Make sure we hold this movement for about 20 seconds and then alternate into the respective side. It may be uncomfortable, but trust me, it will help you squat deeper and reduce your risk of injury during squatting movements. With a band attached around ankle height, around our ankles, we want to push our knees over our toes and come back. This movement is a dynamic exercise similar to kettlebell dorsiflexion movement. However, because we are moving, this is going to be more specific to squatting movements. Holding this position will help improve ankle range of motion so you can squat deeper. In this exercise, we are simply going to put our knees over our toes and push forward and hold this position. This position will help improve ankle range of motion and allow us to squat deeper into the hole in squatting movements. Let's move on to lower body warm-up. In this exercise, we are going to sit back into a squat. Keep your arms in front of you, your chest up, and push your knees out as you go down into the squat. This exercise is just to prepare you for whatever your lower body day may come with. Try and keep your back straight and squeeze your glutes at the top, as you can see in the video. For a greater tutorial on how to squat, please watch my how to squat video. In this movement, we are performing a hip hinge where we are pushing our hips back and sliding down our torso. This exercise will engage our hamstrings. Ensure that you can keep your chest upright, your back straight, and power up at the top to engage your glutes. For more information on how to perform a hip hinge movement, please watch my how to deadlift video. In this exercise, we are going to put one foot up on a box and the other foot out in front of us. in this split squat stance, we are going to lower down our knee and then we're going to push up through our heel. This movement will help engage our glutes and other lower limb muscles. Keep your chest upright and your core engaged, which will help keep your back neutral, and please ensure that you push through your heel to engage your glutes. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed all the exercises that were presented in this video and that you're able to now perform a good structured warm-up that will prepare you for your workout. Please check out my other videos which show you how to deadlift, how to squat and perform other upper and lower body movements. Have a great day and I'll catch you later.